Good morning, folks. It's 10:24 on the 24th day, 11th month, 2022. And happy Thanksgiving to all those who celebrate that occasion. Giving thanks to me means many, many things. And what do you have to be thankful for is one of them. I'm very thankful I have a planet to live on. But I don't think we're acting very thankful to Mother Earth today. And what I'm looking at here is Plymouth, England. The journey the pilgrims took was rather interesting, actually. They were driven out of Epworth, England, up off the Isle of Axholme, and they started their journey downwards. And they had to sneak out at night. Uh, the Wesley, the Reverend, was actually burned out of his house. Uh huh. Yeah, I stayed in the town. His rectory was literally at the end of my road when I stayed there. Beautiful village, actually. Nice view of the Don Valley. And I look here over at Plymouth and I see, well, beside my Imaginarium, seeing a Uniblab over here, the alien Swami with the elongated skull and a nose. Very Egyptian looking Imaginarium there. I also see lots of cam and lots of EMF. And as I move out in over the English Channel, it's as I sometimes say, this is a channel that needs changing. Hey Higgins, look what can you draw here? Yeah, and it's been pissing it down. It did. The last full image I have of the planet is the 23rd, so I'm gonna go with that for now, and then I'll zip over and do some forecasting. Because when I look across the Atlantic, the journey they took, is they ended up in Amsterdam, right? Yeah, they got kicked out of there because it was very extremist the way they wanted everybody to be, and it was going against a religious paradigm that wasn't wanted. When you go up against the Jesuits, that's going against their wallet. It don't work out well. So now I see a geoengineered journey. Who knows the exact path that was taken? But we're told they landed on Plymouth Rock. And Plymouth Rock is over here, in case you don't know. It's this harbor. It's a logical harbor. They could have landed here. They could have landed here. A couple vectors over, they might have landed in New Haven or Bridgeport, or they've been up in here. They'd have been smarter if they'd have gone down a couple degrees different out here. Vectoring can change your destination greatly when you're talking thousands of miles. And that has a lot to do with chem as well. A little deflection here could start the path of vectoring that ends up making a huge distance at the end. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they claim if you had a powerful enough flashlight and you could shine it in your hand and it would make a shadow on the moon, that when you move your hand shadow across the moon, it would actually move moving faster than the speed of light. Your shadow. Mm-hmm. The distance it would move across the moon, if you could do that. So that just shows you the power of a vector, or a little 1 degree difference here can have a whole lot of miles difference at the end of the ray of travel. Uh huh. Of the vector. So, anyways, that's Plymouth Rock, man, and they got fried. And it's not kind when you see us like all getting fried out. And Ireland's been especially bad. I was asked by an activist over there if I'd have a peek at him, and I said, of course. Any suggestions for today's show? So that's what I wanted to show is we're not being very thankful, and I want to talk about some of the things I'm thankful for, and I'm thankful for all of y'all. I'm thankful I still have the will to help people after I get bullied when I do. Really, really upset about a lot of things, actually. When I hashtag something, it's because I see a need for help, not because a person asked me to do something. So I think I'm going to stop doing that now. I'm tired of you guys just trying to analyze everything I want to do. I just wanted people to be okay. So I'm going to do my weather forecast and get on with it. Right, so I'm looking off the coast here and I see this obvious chembomb deployment. Something's doing a swirl on its way down. Still either falling, a lifting body. I don't think it's rising up as is always suggested to me, but sometimes I can absolutely see it does. You see odd plume shapes and a triangular cloaked craft over the top of this cloud. See it right there? TRB, most likely. Can't put that in my collection. There we go. What's this edited out piece with a different type cloud smudge? A smudgy going in. Was the TRB too obvious? Did it move? Is this fast? Are they in a squadron? You think they only got one or something? You're fooling yourself. If they break their toy, they want another one to pull out of the garage immediately. And it's corked up over cork. This is yesterday. Like I said, I don't have a complete image for you. You know, I have to coast down here. It's just a bunch of nasties. I don't have the imagery yet ability because nobody's passed it to me, even if I have to buy it. So I can do a frame by frame look like I do for Australia. Because Himwari 8 offers a nice image that I don't get in this hemisphere. Devil Cloud. Woo! Yeah, that's another. That goes in my collection too. That's a whole nother theory of interdimensionality and aether manipulation via heavy blast of electromagnetic frequency. It's a whole nother topic. And it's a provable science. Duke University did vast research into the paranormal. And well, that was my stomping grounds. You know, go Tar Heels. Yeah, that's right. I wasn't a Blue Devils fan. That's right. You got some obvious deployments going on here. Look at this big explosion here with a percussion ring, a boom, boom, boom. Then it shot out something else. That shot out something else. That's something else. Something else is over here deploying the same type formation, but it's a little less developed. Some of these colors will be the ocean itself that you're seeing here, so don't read too much into that. But read it. That is a chembam right there for the coast of Bray. Dublin, you know, a lot of people be familiar with Dublin. Let me check if my sound is running. I hope you guys are satisfied with the type of show you're going to get today. Yeah, I need to support my own work, so I'm just going to hashtag my own work from now on. Hashtag be thankful for our mother. Yeah, and I'll just hashtag the earth. Cooter Hill, man. Cooter Hill. Yeah, I'm going to read you how I want. Just you're going to get the Straya treatment. I'm just going to read you. That's right. They're giving you the bell really fast. Really fast. And there it is. The bell. That's a big plume of some crap that went over. Or you got a factory over here steaming it up. Yeah, that place. Ballydare. Cork. I'll start talking like Ireland. All it takes is go in there a couple days, and I swear to God, you'll be doing the lingo. You can't help it. Excuse me, father. Are you okay? For sure, for sure. Letter Kenny. It's nice to see the green. Really is for a change. Because you guys have been absolutely whited out. EMF'd out the hull. Look at the getting fried you had off the coast here. Where they work a lot of the storms up towards Scotland. They got to use a lot of EMF here to create the flow. And they create a heavy flow through here this week, currently the storm we're getting, that's driving stuff this way. You see the low off the coast? That trucked off. It's going to do a lot of damage in Europe. And on the 23rd, it's Chemtrail City off Dogger Banks, out here in the North Sea. Lots of chembomb activity. Heavy EMF. Right, that's not one of those breaks in the image where the satellite comes together every 90 minutes. That's actual straight line cloud out in the middle of the ocean. That's geoengineering. That would be very dramatic, a picture of that from the ground, or somebody flying over on a plane would have felt that. And the turbulence, when you just get to the outer edges of these type of cloud activities, can be very dangerous to aircraft. Yeah, put your seatbelts in, kind of thing. And that color is different than that, so something different has been deployed down here because the ice crystals it's making, because it'll be very cold up here, is a different color. It's refracting different than that one, or that one. That's been zigzagged right here. Harry Potter's suitcase getting ready to Hogwarts it over somewhere. Chemtrail, chemtrail, chemtrail. That's some kind of a rune. Sam Marley will know what that is. She's pretty expert on those. She's doing rune readings, by the way. And well, she needs our support too. And anybody's into that, man, she'll be happy to help you with that. So look on my page. I shared something, so we can look out for our own. No, I wasn't asked to do that. Back to the chembomb. Right. So I have showed Ireland. I have showed the smashing of the UK. Let's see if Turkey's in now. How's my girl? Not in yet. And I showed you yesterday. Total chembomb. You staying in Stay in. You don't want to be breathing this sand. There's a lot of sand that has been driven up from the desert out here in the sand field. So I go back here to the 22nd. Clear. Today, not clear. You can't even see the darker colored dunes or the oasis areas that are agriculture. So the sand's been driven into this massive cam and it's absolutely streaming up over this way. And a big pocket of cold air is coming down from this way, and it's been triggering some very, very heavy rains and earthquakes. And judging by this chem line, for it to shock again over this way near Istanbul wouldn't surprise me. Just from the difference in the hot and cold also has a great effect, and they had a quake along this line. And this line will tend to tick, so I expect the next quake to move a bit closer to Istanbul. But you know, it's an earthquake area. And lots of chem bombs over the Black Sea. Look at this. Well, there's probably a lot of military stuff going on out here because the Crimea is literally right over here. This is a very disputed area. But if you was to see a place being bombed, you would see the smoke in the clouds here. And this is Kiev. You seen any smoke? Has anything been bombed here? Come on. There's 22nd. 23rd. No smoke. No smoke. No smoke. No smoke. Lots of EMF. So they're running some heavy radars. Tensions you could tell are high from the EMF. But I'm not seeing any smoke. I'm not seeing nothing verifying this missile attacks that I've been reading about in the news. And I find that troubling when I feel like I'm being lied to, because the only thing we need to remember about war is war sucks, okay? And I smell a lie. So I figured I would just throw that in there for you. I'm a wascally wabbit. And a heavy spray over the Middle East right now. Look at this right here, this big mass of crap. Look how thankful we are to our mother on Thanksgiving. Their image should nearly be in. Yeah, here's today. I'm over Iraq. That's Baghdad. If you go over here, there's Kuwait. It's a highly disputed area. There's a lot of tribes here that became the United Arab Emirates, and they cooperate together. These are the OPEC nations out here, where a lot of these oil leases are held by high up officials in power in the United States and in corporations. The Bush family held for years the rights to the Kuwait oil, and so the Kuwait war was while he was in power was no surprise to me. If I always follow the money leads to a couple things. It leads to an avenue called war, and that whole machine that wants the money, and it gets a lot. And it leads to one called the science, where it pays for studies along certain predicted outcomes that are wanted. And you could pay for 20,000 studies and throw away every one of them, but the three that say what you want and say, here's 3 articles. You can even see they boom, boom, plumed Iran. Same method going on. Over their own population. Tell me who's chemical attacking who here in the world. I say there's a nefariousness going on, and I would not like to blame on government, because that's a terrible thing to think about. But, you know, we have to confront the terrible to make the beautiful. You have to go into the thicket and trim it down to release the rose so the sun can shine on it and it can bloom properly. I wonder how much mash she had. They did the mash. They did the sky got smashed. The sky got smashed. They did the mash. They smashed the fucking smash sky over in Smashies. My God, did you see that? Turkmenistan. Bombed. Bomb, 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 bomb. And yes, Australia, I'll get to your forecast. But you got to realize, we have to give thanks to the whole world. This is the Gobi Desert. It's one of the largest sand pits in the world. And you can do a lot of weather manipulation by manipulating this sand pit. It's very predictable flows. And it's a very interesting part of my Imaginarium is this Gobi Desert. If you have a long look at the depressions, as in the shape, including things like this in the sands that aren't always volcanoes, that look like birds with their wings out. These are very interesting features that will be featured in my Imaginarium work. And as we look over, we're over to the Sea of Japan, and I'll be able to zip south soon. We'll be zipping south. My God, look at how they got smashed. Yeah, man, the sky looks like skyria. It does. Explosive skyria. Hey, do you want? What's one of the side effects of SRM? Explosive skyria. Uh, Gosh, gotta harmonize this sky. We gotta bless this water. Its misuse and its vibration is to be terrible. We have to change the memory of its misuse. I do a lot of energy work with that as well, with the harmonizers that I have here. Chemtrail, chemtrail, chemtrail. And with one flick of my wrist, I'm here. Welcome to the Mad Dash. The Wicked Glitch's home. Seems to be her lair. Her castle. Oreo. Boom on. Boom, boom, plumes. Boom, one. And they ferreted out the indigenous protected area and they flooded you out and they didn't even tell you to build your ark, did they? You know, if the government would give you a paper ark kit, here's one made out of cardboard. That should protect you. Yeah, a lot of microwave and bomb deployment. You would think that would be just EMF. But when you zoom in, you see the geometrics. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, with a triangle in the middle. Almost like a clock. Or something spinning and that old game Asteroids. You turn around and fire. Yeah, that's what that reminds me of. Instead of asteroids or hemorrhoids. My God, what the hell? That's a cool looking lake. That feature's fairly new. The praying man. A lot of features in Atlanta are going to show up out in the desert while it's flooded. It's going to be great for my Imaginarium to get some current captures of the land, because there's some of the flat places be hiding shit. Then I'll tell my Opal and my hunters where to go. Yeah, I get a theory. It's turning out to be right. I guarantee you, if I went out there, I'd put myself on pay dirt. What do they write in this guy here? It's an oddball there, isn't it? It's not a naturally occurring cloud. X. I love you. This isn't a Thanksgiving. This is something's been drawing in the sky. That's obvious. That is obvious. And you get a guy down here, my imaginary says with his nose, hello. That's a big farm. Or something. Quite a land feature you get there. And the arrow's pointing at where all the chem bombs should go. Hey, bomb up there. My gosh. Look at the V shape. The vag cloud here over the Carpentaria area, or is that just a big Cotex to come sop up it's getting ready to stop up your floods? Yeah, it's always normal to see a cloud shaped like a cylinder that's an odd color emitting some kind of a thing that's going swirl. Sure, that's normal. Yeah, young Frankenstein normal. Abby normal. Hello, Abby, how you doing? Look at the combination here over the ocean. Over where things live that you don't even know the names of half of them. Most of you. You wouldn't know the difference between a sea anemone and a sea enema. One of us when you bend over in front of a wave and you don't have good boardies in, and the other one is if you step on it, it's going to leave quite an infection. Look at this square off your coast. That picture you guys took today, that square cloud, there it is. It's right here. And it's been blurred the fuck out. They do not want you to see it. Nazis. You're being ruled by Nazis. If your government's the only one that can make a decision not to put the BOM feed on Windy, it takes a meeting of your funding to say, hey, don't use that app accurately. People might be safe. What a bunch of fucking assholes. Land grabbing, greedy glutching, snout having, grinding in the ground even, sniffing for what's there right now. Crazy plane patterns leading to terrible storms. And yes, some of those flares absolutely can rise up. Absolutely, that's 100% correct. Something down on this low deck can influence the cloud deck above. But whether it goes in or not, is another thing to prove. And as I go over Lismore, and my heart is already going out to you. You know what to do. Warning, I'm out warning. They're going to open that up to the public again, and I'm not too keen about that. Some things should remain indigenous and special, and you don't have to be able to go everywhere, especially without permission and with proper respect paid. I imagine it's very easy to access, but proper respects always had to be paid to certain places of the land here. Everywhere I went, and I was taken, there was things that had to be done. Words to be said from the ancestors should always be said. The vibration should continue and continue strong. Your boogeyman. Look at the boogeyman cloud out here. I can see quite a few different faces. It's like a Picasso cloud. You got a side view, crooked eyeball, or maybe they got boosted. Who knows? All I know is something nefarious is going on here over the ocean. And you being told they got military exercises, they're doing experiments. Don't worry about it in the skies. That's when you need to worry the most. Don't worry, remain calm. Every movie I ever seen about a fucking extinguished level event or a disaster always has somebody else already knowing about it and prepared and packing up first. There's always somebody buying into a drug company that's then used and ends up selling a lot before we even know we need it. There's always somebody with the greedy hand going toward the Gold Coast, just going for the gold there, and you will be absolutely smashed. I showed the cam. Our forecast for the UK is as follows. Pay close attention. I'm going right to Australia. Heavy winds across the coast of Ireland will persist almost all day, but at least they have the break of the land first. But the pattern's really this coastline here as it comes up, and you're going to get this most of the day. Watch. It's going to come in waves because they split the storm into quite a few pieces. So over the next week, the UK is going to get hammered too as they split it over the coast. That turn's going to cause quite a bit of damage, but it's going to spare Plymouth and all that a lot of the brunt. And Scotland's going to cop it up north coming on Friday. See here, the winds changed as the low moved over into Norway and all that. It's going to end up kicking a big bunch of cold back down into this trough here to meet this that's coming. Yeah, so we got to prepare for a big event. And it's also going to inundate Europe. Europe is really going to catch a battering today. Their totals are very high over the next 24 hours. As you see here for the week coming to the mid. Not good at all. Happy Thanksgiving, boom. Go shopping. Have your climate change agenda pushed right even up to Rome itself. Some of the rain has already fallen. That was on my 10 days from earlier. But as I go to the 10-day now over here to Australia, it's still absolutely devastating. They've calmed their total down. But this morning I took this screenshot because I'm getting used to them. So we got a screenshot. This one's from last night. Showing 1/3 of a meter of water inundating their entire area through here in a block. Some of it won't get it. They'll have to turn it on unpredictable radar corridors. And it looks like a slot here, but they've already gotten some rain. But I'm telling you, this is a big bad wolf allowed to have some toys they shouldn't. I'm trying to turn this off. Oh, here we go. Right. So they're showing a different total today. They're calming your farm, and I think they're lying. They have a habit of doing this, but you got time to prepare for this one. Lots of time. Right? You got 3 days, 5 days of not even a drop showing, according to them, which I don't believe, because this is rainforest area. Yeah, this seems more accurate. They have to get their first soak in within 5 days. 5 centimeters coming. Nothing, then 5. 3 days of nothing. You got time. You absolutely do. Because they'll be squeezing it down this way. There'll be more within the 3 days starting to cop it through the corridor up here. Then they're going to be very heavy totals. And it's going to get split into bands and worked down. Boom, boom, boom. If they worked it down too quick or one of these radars failed to pulse correctly, all of it would come at once. And that would be a bad thing. Worse than what already is a bad thing. I'm going to stick with my guns on my totals from earlier on the 10s. That's a lie. You'll be doubled. I'm sticking with that. Now they're staying with the totals here that I was showing down there through this corridor here. Maybe Lismore's under negotiations with the government to spare the town right now. Oh, please, we promise to give you everybody's land first, no matter what. Just don't do this to us again. Please. You've had enough funerals this year. Hemorrhoidstar. You're fucked. What a bunch of scrotums. Agnes Water. I'm very sorry to report the total fuckness of you, the total fuckness of Raghampton. You'll be your event will start in about after 3 days. You see how they're moving it down the coast. This is the weather plan. They have a plan and they're not telling you this. There's nobody that even sits and just goes over this. Right? How long would it take them to go through? Here's all the possibilities you got. And here's the tendril I'm worried about. Remember I told you it's a possibility you're going to get a half a meter. Look what they're bringing down. All right, that's an up the double fucking situation here. For the Carpinteria area within the next 10 days. And I'm very concerned to see this one. This is a big concern. Because if they split this back, that comes to Darwin. It does. Oh my God. Jesus Christ. If I swear, don't call me sacrilegious or this and that, but I have a Tourette's thing that when I get upset, my head goes out of tone. I'm trying so hard not to swear. Fucking Christ, look at this shit. Hi, have it. You know, when it comes to making floods, our pressers are very good at it because that total's nowhere near in 5 days. So what does that mean? Where is the water coming from? Coming from up here. Access usually is pretty, he's pretty on the ball. Yeah, they're taking that tropical river down that I was worried about. The one that was over here. And they're bringing it down. Just like I said the other day, that beam had to do that. And I said it'd take 4 or 5 days, so I'm on the spot. I'm thinking about it correctly. If you find my work of value and care to support it, you may do so at paypal.me/Robert Deutsch. Well, you can buy some jewelry from me. It's that season. This is for an artist, by the way. He has a ridiculous hat. Look at his hat. Yeah, that's his style. That dude is styling. Okay, I digress. I just wanted you to see that hat. Yeah, that's styling, isn't it? And he's ready for his sushi anytime he had some chopsticks in his hair. So I've made a light joke a little bit because this is not a funny situation to me at all. Here's part of the beam that's tendriling it. You could do a pulse here and then another one behind it. Boom, boom. All curved, all ready to rumble in that direction. Not the splicing of the image that you sometimes see with a whole break going across the whole image as they put together the different... I think they've only got 17 active satellites to put this whole thing together right now. This matrix of imagery. And this is just what would rain down. This is not all the water that's up there. I have to point that out. Yeah. But I have a good idea of what's up there by what's fell and where it is. And, well, if you watch this as often as I do, I could keep the river of moisture in my head. You could tell me where a new beam happened. I don't need to see the rest. Yeah, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 waves will bring the water in. 4 of them with a gap. So there'll be a secondary beam will go between. They have to let that move first before they can hit that again. That'll back this up this direction as well. So it'll send some moisture into Yemen. Oh, they've just come on. Now that's going to force that back out. So that'll put some water up over here across India. They'll change the upper flow now. So get a proper this direction of convection of the oceans the way it should be. That goes around that way. This goes around that way. It's the way it should be. And in the heating of different parts of the year, change directions of flows. And EMF beams can cause what they call La Ninas, a great big beam, or the El La La blah blah, the El blah blah effect. It's whatever excuse is needed. But either way, I'm yielding accurate forecasts that are over 2 weeks away, telling you about a huge flooding event that was going to occur for here. And we're seeing it. Okay? I'm not inaccurate. And add another day to this, and you'll watch the totals increase. Maybe, like I said, the negotiation for who gets the tendril, because somebody's really going to get it. And that was a very disturbing statistic to see. As far as your weather goes for the next 24 hours, it's going to be quite adventurous. And I'm going to go offline Saturday. So I have some things I want to go do and be back on Sunday. So I wish you guys the best that day. If I see anything bad, I'll type a message. Right, as we go into Thanksgiving Day, there's not much thanks being given to the Carpentaria area, the extreme north of the I guess I should call you the Clit. Right, if you wanted to be the anti in the Darwin area over here into the upper northern territories, as they go to grab this area here, and the heaviness comes ashore again. You should see it start tapering off through here now. So I'm surprised that's even still going on, in all fairness, because now is the time to bring the tundra over. Watch the low come in, boom, a crest, does a big dump. Oh, they changed the timing. What beam did that? Hang on, I gotta go Australia on this one. There's been an alteration. There's been a maneuver. So whenever you get a maneuver, you gotta go look. All right, we'll go closer. This is a close to home move. Who hit it? Oh my God! Yeah, I'd say there's a beam in progress, and we're gonna have some kind of a wild explanation later. But it's not showing up on the other one. Right, when I go on that 180 the global, it's not showing. Boy, if you just got hit. It's a big blast. Now I'm going on the 24. What the fuck just happened? Yeah, there's a big blast underway. Now we have to look at one more thing now. Space, weather. I got a better one over here. Oops, sorry about that, folks. I got a much better one. Let's see if the sun's kicked off. It's important. Go straight for the space weather. We'll do two different ones. I want a quick warning one because they might have had a kickoff. I was worried about a snap in filament. Well, let's have a quick check. Quick check. Come on, weather, you got to keep on the fly, and we look for natural. Always looking for natural first. And that'll be the sun. Page not found. No, you're not allowed to see some things sometimes. Okay, let's have a quick look. Is this the current image? How are those two filaments? Wind's gone. Okay. Let's go to the daily movies. Where's the dashboard? There it is. That's the dashboard. This one will roll it. Yeah, we had a flare kickoff. You see it right here. Yeah, there's definitely been an incident. Absolutely, 100% it's been an incident. So that could explain that. A natural way to explain that would be that X flare right there that kicked off. Uh-huh. Come on, let's go natural. Always think natural. If you ain't thinking natural, you ain't thinking right. You're darn right the sun is affected. There it is right there. The moment of kickoff. Which filament snapped where? Because this one's linked to this one here and this one here. So I'm going to go forward now. What happened here? Just bear with. Big filament kicked. I'm going backwards. And this is the current image. Yeah, she's fighting. Boom, and she went. Yeah, we've had a big snap, and it was Earth face. And man, it's not going to be good for communication. So if you have some disruptions today, it's also going to trigger some quakes. It's a lot of pressure on the magnet. Oh my, look at the boiler on the edge. Let's watch this again. Look what's going on out here. And this is coming. Boy, is that an active region. I hope it kicks off before it gets here. Boom. Yes, she has. Very active for solar minimum. Phew, another one kicked off here. So the sun is very active today. She's not done. It's still kicking off, and it's Earth facing right now. Right, that is a very interesting day for space weather. So I can verify. Yes, I have an excuse, so I have to do that. Yeah, no, I keep it real. Okay, so that's that. So we'll continue along. I'll give you a few days of this while I have to find a drink of water. My dumbass didn't put one out. Oh. Yeah, I decided to just load screens and do this live with you guys. And I'm going to ask if there's anybody else who wanted a piece of jewelry. If they pay for it, I'll get it put in the post today. If not, the other one's going to post today. They've been harmonized. And I put the rest of the jewelry, I had a harmonizer on it all night. I get good energy in it. Hey, that's how we roll, man. It's how we roll. Yeah, Sunday, not too good. Well, there's definitely going to be some earthquake activity across the world today. High activity. Telecommunications gaps and all. Little extra fuel for the magnetosphere, so it kicks the lightning into overdrive. I got to point that out, though, so you'll see extreme electrics with your storms, and I imagine the aurora up north is going to be spectacular. There's so much chem and stuff in the air, that thing is going to be glowing purples. One of the rare colors. Look what they're doing on Monday in Brisbane. Look at this. Here you go. They squeeze in a sack now. Now, as we get into Monday afternoon, your time, inundation. Absolute inundation. And it's going to stay that way. Lismore, heavy falls coming Monday, late Monday afternoon. 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Warwick and all that area, that whole corridor. Boy, wouldn't that be a convenient place to have a train line? Just go right through there, hey? Right to there with a switch off coming up this way, one going this way, one coming down this way, and one going up that way. And that's the exact line where the freaking things are. Can you see this shit? Can you see it yet? Chinchilla, another repeated dousing. Repeated dousing. Heavy damage and lightning, damage and hail. Oh, the hail's going to be horrendous. Yeah, protect your gardens. Bring in your potted plants the day before this occurs. And do they sell a Kevlar mesh to protect your garden from falling hailstones? You know, they make some like a trampoline thing for people on the high wire. Do we have to rig up some kind of mesh like that on poles with bamboo and stuff in our yard to absorb the shock of these super things that are destroyed terribly the trees in these storms? Look at Maroochydore. My God, that's a raging storm. What's the wind? Yeah, you ain't even in the you're barely in the tropical. You're in the tropical storm, barely, believe it or not. But it's going to look like, oh my God. You'll have all the isobars going that day. No, they're not going to fear you up. I'm surprised. Well, it's only a one tick away pressure. How the fuck you going to call that a difference when each one of these isobars is supposed to be two? You see what I mean? How they make things look more fierce. Where's the 4? Where's the 4 line? It's missing. See what I mean? This is just... Even their maps are ludicrous. They're fucking ludicrous. At least ludicrous. I didn't mind some of their songs. Sorry, Miss Jackson. Woo! Chem bombs are real. I'm sorry, boom boom plumes that fly. I sprayed something, then your garden died. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. Chem bombs are real. And whether you believe them or not, it can kill you anyhow. And as we look about the abomination of it all, I'm going to load this. I haven't done that properly yet. I didn't quite know where I was going to go with this show. I just know I wanted to start in Ireland because I was requested to do so. But by Karen in Ireland, she calls up places on the phone. The stuff he did during COVID, tested stations and stuff. Excuse me, in radio station, you say this and this and it's not right, and reading out the rights and this and oh my God, she does absolute gold. She lives up to the Karen name to the system though. She's like a Karen to the system. Yeah, I do admire that. It's very funny to listen to. John Sal and I have had great laughs over some of your stuff that you would send when I was living in Turkey. Hello, Darwin. You feeling boom? Feeling plumed? How your eyeballs? Yeah, you breathing really clear? You can't see clearly now 'cause the planes have come. They stole all the oxygen in the air to make sulfuric acids appear. Do 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 do. The dark clouds of mystery that shrouds engineering needs to remove the shroud from the blind, so we can have bright, bright, bright sunshiny days. Bzzz, getting fried, getting fried. Getting fried. Colonel Chem Bomb's fried up here. Would you like a Chem Bomb pop with that? No? You're gonna have it anyhow. Have it. It's following your food anyhow. Here, lick that lollipop slower. Yeah, you had an extra absorption of all those red dyes. And what happens when you mix this shit with it? A little double, a little smudgy over mudgy. Have that on your scones. Have a little Chem Bomb on your scone there. Scorn the scones! Yeah, we don't scorn scone. I'll take the names off so I'm not as tempted to say dirty words. Fuck it, man. I'm gonna enjoy my call design. If they're gonna sink my fucking ship, I'm gonna laugh on the way down. That's the vibration I want to take into the next life. I don't want to come into it screaming. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 bim, boom, 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 plum, 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 plum. Boom, 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 bzz, 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 bzz. Bzz, 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 boom, 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 plum, 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 boom, 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 plum, boom, 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 plum, boom, 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 boom. My God, did you guys get fucking smashed today from West Wyoming? Wyoming? Because I was born that way. That's why I'm lying. Hey, Junie, how you doing? Nice to see some clear skies over the top of you. Hey, why are people mounting, Jenny? Hey, that's not too cool. Hey, beggar, did you beg for these? You beg for something, you better be specific. Yeah, look at the bomb. Look at the bomb that did this storm. See it? Right there. That's the bust. That's the slam bust. Here is the reason why. You can't see the sky. Or what you see of the sky is a contamination. A pluming of Naruma. No more Ruma for no more plumas over Naruma. Yep. Oola doola. Yeah, I've already sang that thing. How are you doing over here? Oh my God. We got chemtrails over the ocean here. Hi. Yeah, that was a very important travel area there. There's somebody flying from here to here. It's so important to leave a chemtrail. Let's have a chemtrail. Rattle, it's nice to see you've only got this bloom of what is the fuck is that shit going on? Oh, that's just your mountains. It's nice to see. A little bombasticness going on over here. Using the old crowbar over crowbar. Boom, That's before and after. before. It's the same before and after. Before and after being thankful to you. Is this how we're thankful to our mother? Is this how we're thankful to people that worked hard their whole life to not get an accurate weather forecast that says, hey, guess what? We get a raging low that's going to be over here and that day with winds that are R of cyclone strength over the Darwin area within by the third. They're talking this is a cyclone. This is what they have planned for Australia. And they don't tell you. Well, you've just been warned. Get the warning out. This is going to be bad. Big love, peace.